How's it going, everybody? This week's video, we're going to be taking a look at probably the craziest holiday gift that I've ever gotten. So, quick disclosure, I was actually going to buy this pen, but last minute and completely out of nowhere, the seller said no go on the payment and instead gifted me the pen for the work that I've done here on the channel, on Two Guys Zero Planners, and the work that I've done on the BYOB Pen Club. So, since getting the pen, it's honestly been quite humbling every time I've picked it up to either write in my journal or work on scripts. And the least I could say is thank you. So with that said, let's take a look at the M600. So up front, we've got our outer box, which is one step up from nondescript, showing both the Pelikan logo on the front and the postbox address for Pelikan in Hanover, Germany. But what it's really doing and doing well is protecting what's inside. And what's inside is this very well-designed inner box. Let's take a moment to appreciate it. Honestly, it seems like Pelikan has gone all in on the lace-up pattern for the M600 striped special editions, and I personally like it. I mean, this is a box that adds just the right amount of form to function, but let's be honest, we're here for what's inside. Which here, we've got the 2018 limited edition M600 in white and turquoise. So right off the bat, longtime subscribers of the channel can see why I really wanted to buy this pen. The turquoise acetate with the white striping is a perfect contrast to the 24 karat gold plating used on the accents. And under the cap, we've got the two-tone Pelikan nib that I think is one of the best looking nibs on a fountain pen. So when this came out in 2018 and I missed out on purchasing it, I told myself that the first one I saw available with a broad nib or a custom grind, that pen would be mine. And here it is. Now let's take a look at some of the specs in comparison to its larger brother, the M800 Stone Garden. So we've got the M600 coming in at 0.6 ounces, a capped length of 5.2 inches, and an uncapped length of 4.8 inches. This compares to the M800 at 1.5 ounces, a capped length of 5.5 inches, and uncapped length of 5 inches flat. And posting links are up here on the screen too, but these two pens are long enough that, uncapped, posting them almost feels uncomfortable to me. Also, the nibs here, while both are two-tone, the nib on the M600 is 14 karat, while we're rocking the 18 karat on the M800. But here's the part that I really love most about this pen, and we're going to be looking at the writing sample while we talk about it. Obviously, the best match for this pen is 4001 turquoise, and it's a very good looking match indeed. Now, I would assume on a drier nib, or if I held the pen at a more normal angle, that maybe this FCI grind would show through more, but as it is, I really do like the line that we're getting here. On the downstrokes, the nib is opening up quite comfortably, and when I do approach the paper properly, you do see a variation from the cross strokes to the downstrokes. And when we do go ahead and take the nib upside down and then switch it back to right side up, the writing experience honestly is just as smooth on both sides. I mean, minus having to write around the camera, of course, but that's just part of the job. And I also like the spring that I'm getting from the nib. It's not so soft that I'm concerned it will spring, but it's got a comfortable amount of give. That's one thing I've always liked about these gold nibs from Pelikan. Also, the feed is giving us a good amount of ink on the page. I think part of that is contributing to this fine nib, coming off more like what you would see from a Jowo Broad. But back to what I said earlier in the video, this pen is sitting nicely in my hand unposted. I'm sure if you've got larger hands, then posting may be needed, but for most people, I think unposted is perfectly fine on the M600. The threads are set up nicely here going from the body to the section. It is a smaller section, so when I'm writing, I'm definitely making contact with the threads, but they aren't distracting. So if you're going to do a small section, I think this is about the smallest that you could do it and get it done right. If the threads are going to be any more raised, or if the section is not going to be as concave, then I think this is a completely different story. So overall, if we ignored this particular pen's pedigree and looked at the potential base model, my thoughts here are pretty solid. The white and turquoise combination, along with the 24 karat gold plate, is bold, but in a professional way. I mean, when I'm pulling my pen roll out at work, this is the first one that eyes fall on without fail, and that's the mark of a good colorway. And I will say that while the M800 is a better size for people with medium to larger hands, the M600 is still extremely comfortable and a good alternative for someone wanting a slightly smaller pen. Now, bringing the pedigree back into this, I mean, I was gifted this pen in the colorway I wanted with a really well done FCI. So yeah, my thoughts are going to be biased towards this particular pen. But the keywords here are this and pen. I mean, there are valid concerns in the community when it comes to price, nib width inconsistency, and, like on the Ocean Swirl, colorway inconsistency. And I will always advocate extreme caution when you're talking about making a stationary purchase in these price ranges. I mean, like with my Stone Garden, I was able to choose from 3 different barrels, and with this pen, even though my mindset was I'm gonna have the pen, I was able to see a writing sample, and I was able to get non-press photos of the pen, and those really reinforced my purchase decision. I mean, as it is though, thank you Jason for the best holiday gift that I've gotten in quite a while, and thank you all for watching. If you want to support the channel and the podcast, click on the Patreon link down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out channel sponsor Pen Chalet. I'll see you next week.